Team Echo, come in. This is General Snake Vargas. Get to Caedo Genesis now. Vargas out.
Greetings Ranger Team Echo, Caedo Genesis here for yet another guide for Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. In this one, I will show you all 18 of the recruits you can get in the Wasteland, their attributes and dominant skills, requirements to recruit them to your team, and most importantly, where to find them. Most of the recruits come with a chance to go rogue in combat situations, which can be counteracted with the leadership skill. Also, a few of these recruits have a massive party-wide charisma requirement, but if your party-wide charisma is just below the required amount, it can be artificially raised by certain trinkets such as the spiked collar, and usable items such as sriracha. Now that that's established, let's find those recruits. We begin with the Angel of Death herself, Angela Deth, the first character available at the Ranger Citadel shortly after the start of the game. She is up the path on the left as you are leaving Ranger Citadel. After speaking with her and attempting to leave dialogue, she will ask to join in investigating Ace's death. She joins the team as a level 7 recruit, with her high attributes being coordination, awareness, and speed, while her dominant skills are hard-ass assault rifles and brute force, with secondaries in weaponsmithing, outdoorsman, and blunt weapons. She also comes with the Hardened perk. While she is story important, she is also a trainer character, and great at helping new players get acclimated to Wasteland 2. But don't develop a reliance on her too much, because she does leave your party permanently when you reach the Canyon of Titan. The Native American scout, Vulture's Cry, is found in the town of Highpool if you choose to save it over the Ag Center. Behind bars, to begin with. She can be freed when the new mayor of Highpool is established, or just broken out via lockpicking. And her equipment can be retrieved from the shop with the proper level of skill in Hardass. Vulture's Cry joins as a level 5 nature-loving sniper. Her primary attributes are an exceptionally high intelligence, decent coordination, and a fair amount of charisma. The skills reflect her biography perfectly, Animal Whisperer being at the top, followed by Sniper Rifles, Perception, and Outdoorsman. And her first perk is Tactical Positioning. Being Vulture's Cry has this high of an intelligence, she's an excellent candidate for skills that need to be filled in for a squad. If you choose to save the Ag Center over Highpool, instead of Vulture's Cry, you can get Rose. Get through the killing fields and meet up with Kathy Lawson in the central complex and she will direct you towards Rose. Rose will offer to join you in your efforts to cure the fungal infection that is plaguing the Ag Center. Rose joins the team as a gifted scientist at level 4. She has an intelligence maxed out at 10, as well as decent coordination and some fair awareness. Her primary skills start at Surgeon and Computer Science, with secondaries of handguns and alarm disarming. She also starts with the Cyber Scrounger perk. Like Vulture's Cry, Rose is an excellent recruit for filling in skill gaps for your squad. While Rose is an excellent addition to the team, I must warn you that she will leave the squad during the final moments of the game, so be prepared for that. Now for the auxiliary squad mates, Rook, Ashley, and Loca. This trio of recruits is available to be hired at Ranger Citadel after you take care of Ag Center or Highpool, but only if your initial squad has fallen under the number of 4. These 3 make for mediocre replacements, but will also follow your orders to the letter, with a 0% chance to go rogue. Lastly, bear in mind that these recruits join at level 4, and will require a little bit of extra love and time to train up. Rook is your grunt type character with a surprisingly high intelligence, fair coordination and strength along with it, with skills in safe cracking, assault rifles, and mechanical repair, and comes with the Handyman perk. Ashley Brygo is the quick and effective weapons specialist, with an okay awareness and coordination build, and is skilled in sniper rifles, submachine guns, and heavy weaponry. She comes with the Hit the Deck perk. And third is Loca, all about risk-reward combat. Her coordination and speed are at 6, and she has shotguns, outdoorsman, and brute force for her skills, along with the Careful Hunter perk. Remember, these 3 are just a contingency plan if you happen to lose someone in your initial squad of 4 people, and I don't really recommend them for the long term, because there are plenty more recruits to find. Next is the Topeka boy, Ralphy. When the Rangers first reach the Rail Nomads camp, you are thrust into the task of saving a boy from drowning. This is Ralphy, and he can be saved or killed depending on which totem you decide to use brute force on. If saved, you can then go to his home, where Ralphie's mother volunteers him to join the Rangers. Joining at level 5, he's a bit of a fixer-upper. His attributes are fairly average across the board, while his skills leave something to be desired. He joins with a Toaster Repair skill of 5, with 2 in Animal Whisperer and 1 in Brawling, and his perk upon joining is Junk Diver. While Toaster Repair is a useful skill, being so one-sided, Ralphie will probably have to sit out on numerous fights before being useful in other aspects. For the second recruit in Rail Nomads camp, we have Scotchmo, who is located in the hobo jungle of the Rail Nomads camp. While he may like snake squeezins a bit too much, he can also cause quite a bit of havoc with a shotgun. He requires a squad-wide charisma of 12 or higher, and joins the Rangers at level 8. Scotchmo's primary attribute is a surprisingly high luck, with effective coordination and speed as well. As for skills, Scotchmo's primary skill is clearly shotguns, followed by safe cracking and lockpicking. He also comes in with the Careful Hunter and Hoarder perks. Scotchmo makes for a decent long-term squad mate, as long as you invest those bonus attribute points into intelligence. Otherwise, he may have some trouble later keeping up with skills. The third recruit you can gain in the Rail Nomads camp is Chisel, the security chief of Casey James in the Atchison camp. Chisel will opt to join you if you come to a peaceful resolution between the two warring tribes here, and will meet up with the Rangers as they are leaving. Under the agreement that the Rangers arrest him for being such a hardened criminal, Chisel will join the team at level 10, having a very high strength, high coordination, and decent speed, but a fearfully low intelligence. Chisel's primary skill lies with blunt weapons, with secondaries in hard-ass and brute force. His starting perks are Charge and Glancing Strike for blunt weapons. Like Scotchmo, if Chisel's extra attribute points are invested into intelligence, Chisel makes a pretty good replacement for Angela Deth when she leaves the squad, and his side comments during the rest of your adventures keep things interesting. To the southwestern part of Arizona is a place called the Levelupe Mine. Help the miners here, including Takayuki's mother, and he will ask to join the team as a personal bodyguard to repay his debt to you. Takayuki joins at level 14 and has very similar attributes to Chisel, but Takayuki has one more point in strength and one less in coordination, but also an intelligence that needs some attention. Takayuki is skilled in bladed weapons, demolitions, and a little bit in mechanical repair, as a strongman who worked the mines should have. As for perks, he gets improvised explosives, long arm, and self-defense. If your team is in need of someone who can absorb bullets, tear up the enemy's front line, and knows their way around explosives, Takayuki is a good choice. Pizepi Joren is the charming oddball mutant who asks to join after helping the residents of Darwin Village. But in order for her to appear, your squad-wide charisma must be 22 or higher. Pizepi joins the Rangers at level 16, and has decent attributes across the board except for charisma, something about being a mutant. Pizepi is the only recruit that is skilled in energy weapons, followed by Perception and Smartass, and she has the Overcharge, Overload, Solar-Powered, and Tactical Positioning perks. Since she is the only recruit that you can get out in the Wasteland that has energy weapon skill, she becomes quite a combat asset later in the game because of it. For the next 3 recruits, only one or none of them become available depending on your choices in the Canyon of Titan. They are Corran Cain, Dan Q, and Gary Wolfe. So let's begin with Corran Cain. Whether or not you choose to help the Mad Monks, proceed to Silo 7, and instead of sending the ICBM anywhere, disarm it instead. This causes a riot in the Temple of Titan, and in the middle of it will be former Mad Monk Corran Cain. And to hire him, you need a party-wide charisma of 18. He joins up as a level 20 with a substantial amount of awareness and intelligence, and a good charisma, oddly enough. As a former Mad Monk, he is skilled in bladed weapons, demolitions, weaponsmithing, and smartass, and having Glancing Strike for bladed weapons, improvised explosives, long arm, self-defense, and turtle for his perks. Even though Corran Cain's primary skill is in bladed weapons, his strength does not reflect that of a melee-based character. However, having an extra demolitions expert that moments ago was willing to blow himself up for his faith is always a plus. You can get this character instead of the other two by going to Silo 7 and sending the nuke to the Mad Monks, and the result is catastrophic. But near the smoking crater that was once the Canyon of Titan stands Dan Q, waiting for someone to help him through the underground passage. He also requires a party-wide charisma of 18, and joins also at level 18. Dan Q has the highest charisma of any other recruit, coming in at 9, following an intelligence of 7. And his skills are Kiss-Ass, Barter, and a little bit in handguns. For perks, Dan Q has Limber, Loose Change, Pawner, Powder Packer, and Zeroed. Maybe not the best choice if you need another gunman, but when it comes to filling in general and knowledge skills, Dan Q is definitely an option. For the third and most tedious recruit to get, we have Gary NaCl Wolfe. He requires the highest squad-wide charisma at 25 or higher. So to prevent any frustration, I will share with you the process in which I was able to get Gary on my team after much trial and error. First, go to the Diamondback Militia HQ and tell them you will not help them. Second, once you reach Silo 7, send the nuke to the depot despite your previous choice. Now before you return to the Canyon of Titan, be absolutely certain you have 25 charisma, as Gary will only show up the one time you return, and has a tendency to disappear even if you quick save next to him. Follow those instructions and you should have this salty fellow on your team. Gary NaCl Wolfe joins at level 20, with exceptional amounts of coordination and intelligence. As for skills, it is lockpicking, computer science, assault rifles, and alarm disarming, with Cyber Scrounger, Hardened, Hollow Point, Master Thief, and Tormentor as his perks. Gary is a great security expert, but may sometimes have trouble following orders. He's also a good choice late game if you need another gunman. The last recruit to be gained in Arizona is Lexcanium, the manifestation of nerd rage. You will find him held prisoner in the town of Damonta by the metallic adversaries there. Free him and he will ask to join seeking vengeance, and many other versions of the word. He requires a squad-wide charisma of 12 and joins up as a level 20. Lexcanium comes with an above-average strength and awareness, and pretty high intelligence. Lex has a variety of skills, including computer science, field medic, mechanical repair, alarm disarming, and brawling. While his starting skill in brawling is 3, if he is using his bionic arm to punch with, his brawling skill will get a bonus of 2. For perks, he has Cyber Scrounger, Handyman, Healthy, On the Mend, and Roboticist. Lexcanium is a great halfway point character, and squads can always use an extra medic. But just like Rose, Lex will not be available at the very end of the game. But the most important part is the journey, right? Now time to issue the spoiler warning. While it may not be necessary at this point, the next 3 recruits are acquired after the halfway point of the game. So if you have not completed your mission in Arizona, I recommend you Rangers do that first, and don't worry, I'll be here when you return. As for the rest of you, let's move on. After spending a short time exploring the LA wastes, Woodson will call you back to Santa Fe base and introduce you to Pistol Pete. He will start by asking you to help his hometown of Rhodia, and offer his services when you agree to help. Pistol Pete will join up at level 23. Not unlike his name, his attributes reflect that of a gun salesman, having an excellent amount of coordination as well as decent awareness and charisma. Pistol Pete's primary skills are handguns and barter respectively, with some outdoorsmen to round it off. And he comes with the bandit, gunslinger, loose change, pawner, and zeroed perks. Even if your squad is full, you may want him along, since he is an LA native and knows the way of the land, and is quite the assailant with a pistol. After several deployments of helping out the LA natives, Ertan is the second recruit to appear in Santa Fe Springs. This punk will join up to prove himself to you and the Dark Lord, and because he just likes killing. Ertan will join at level 27, has high coordination, awareness, and strength, is very skilled with heavy weapons, decent with bladed weapons, and also has the hard-ass skill. Ertan's perks are Battering Fire, Devastating Fire, Glancing Strike for bladed weapons, Hardened, Overwhelming Fire, and Self-Defense. If you don't have a heavy weapons user on your team, now is probably the best time to get one. Ertan will get the job done in the messiest way possible. The last recruit in LA and final on this list is Brother Thomas. He will appear about halfway through helping out the people of LA, like the previous 2 recruits at Santa Fe base. Formerly part of the Gods Militia, Brother Thomas is pretty versatile of a character. He joins at level 27 with a high intelligence of 8, followed by a coordination of 7, and is fairly well distributed otherwise except for luck. Being a former pistol pack and priest, his primary skills are submachine gun, surgeon, and field medic, followed by blunt weapons. The perks he has learned up to this point are Explorer, Fast Reload, On the Mend, Scout, Stim Packs, and Whack-A-Mole. If you ever wanted to replace Rose or Lexcanium, Brother Thomas is who I would recommend, because he will do a great job keeping your team alive, and thump any enemies that happen to interrupt. And that Ranger Team Echo is all 18 of the recruits you can get in Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. What I would like to know is, what does your final team look like? Tell me your favorite recruits to bring. If you found this guide useful, entertaining, or a little of both, do whatever it is you see fit to show it. And if you want more like this, you know what to do. Thanks for choosing to watch this guide all the way through. This is Caedo Genesis, and may you bring Wasteland justice wherever you travel.